Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. You know, how many of you guys are familiar with the statement, some people never cease to stop amazing me? I think we've all had those experiences where you look around and, someone does something so horrific that it shocks you, although you didn't think you could be shocked because you've seen so much. Today's message is going to be centered around Israel, our people, and how they, just continue to shock. They definitely continue to shock me. But I would say that most of us would have to agree that we're getting shocked on a daily basis. It never ceases to amaze us what, our people will do. There's a story or a situation that happened, I think it was Friday night. It was in the Baltimore, Maryland area. And I'm just bringing it out because it just needs to be brought out with everything else that's going on. But before I say share that particular story, I also want to remind anyone who's, listening to this channel, if you stumbled on the channel, or if you're subscribed to the channel, or just like listening in on the conversation, the heading of this channel is End Times. All right, End Times, DFG-End Times. You know what End Times mean? It's a warning channel. This channel is not here to motivate you. This channel is not here to make you feel warm and fuzzy. This channel is not here to lead you down the path of your best life now. That's somewhere else. So if you're visiting here, understand where you are. Because when you don't, you cease to amaze me. My calling from Elohim is to warn my people. This calling was in my heart as a little boy. I'm talking about 7, 8 years old. I was told then that I would live to see the end of this world. I didn't know that I would be a messenger, but I was told then, you'll see it, you'll understand it, and wait. And as I grew older, and the world started to pull me in, Satan and the gods of this world, men, women, how you say the little carrots that dingle in front of our faces to cause us to fall farther and farther away from Elohim. They were dingling. And I chased them. And Elohim told me one day, you could have them, but it's going to cost you your soul. And that particular day, I made up my mind that my soul was way too valuable to be sold, for the cares and the things of this life. And again, I've had my struggles. I'm a fighter. I am a warrior. And so in any warrior will have battle scars, whether you're male or female. You're going to have battle scars. If you're a real warrior, you're going to have battle scars. What I mean by battle scars, you're going to have situations where that, you have taken some hits. You're going to have some things in your life that you will, we call them regrets. Our battle scars are the regrets. These are the things that have happened, that if we could do it all over again, we'd like to think, and let me be clear, we'd like to think we would do something different if we could do it all over again. Therefore we have battle scars. The things that when we reflect and look back on, we tend to, regret because we didn't understand the full consequences of, some of those fights that we were in. And again, I'm not talking about fist fighting. I'm talking about piss poor decisions. Not understanding the wrong decisions and the consequences that are associated with them. And how Elohim is not a fool. If you decide to go in a particular way, whatever the consequence that should befall you for going that way, you will suffer those consequences. See, warriors understand that. And many are the few who live to tell about it, then they become watchmen. They become warners, prophets, whatever name you can use. The book calls them prophets. And what we do is we tell the people about the consequences. And we use the book because the book is the map. It's the GPS, our history book. The world calls the Bible, the Torah, to allow us to be able to at least give you something to measure it by, to understand that you're not the first one to make a fool of yourselves. You're not the first one to fight your way out of their foolishness. But in these days and time, you may not get a chance to fight your way out in, the next situation that you're in, or the current situation that you're in. Some of you will die in your sins. You'll die in your wickedness. And I bring this out because back to the situation that happened on Friday night. Here's this guy. And this guy was he was going through a lot of custody issues. Not custody issues, I guess you would have to call it support issues, child support. He had a wife or ex-wife, and he had a girlfriend. And his ex-wife had pretty much, used the judicial system to cause a lot of problems. And they were fighting back and forth. Looked like they even were having some domestic issues. There were charges seemed that had been charged against her for domestic, violence. And then there seemed to have been some charges against him for domestic violence. And looked like both had dropped the charges, or someone had dropped the charges, or at least the judge tossed the charges out. Probably because they were both equally fighting each other, which happens all the time. So often, the man in the physical altercation, typically, because of this wicked system that we're in, and it loves to find ways to throw all men into the prison system. So more times than not, the man gets the charge, and the woman who was just as guilty as he was, as far as putting their hands on each other, gets to walk away. But in this instance, not only was he going back and forth with her through the judicial system about their children, his girlfriend, who had become impregnated by him, they began the same battles as well. And she made a comment to him, and this is alleged, that she made a comment towards him. And this was an Israelite brother, I might add. The girlfriend looked like she was a Amorite. She like she was some Asian type of person, of Asian descent. But anyway, she's I guess they were going back and forth, and she decided that she was going to put him into the system. Told him the same thing that your ex-wife is going to do, the same thing. You're not going to be seeing this child unless I say so, and under my circumstances and my conditions. And and she started the whole court procedure on the brother, and he got pissed. And if you've been following these messages over the last, 3 or 4 messages, and you've been following the Hammond's channel, Sister Hammond, we've been saying to our sisters that, look, the days are getting darker for you, getting darker for all of us, but, you've had, what I guess we would have to call some grace. It almost appears that Elohim, over the last 30 years, cut you guys some slack. Let you guys kind of escape, some of the consequences of your behavior. It almost appeared as though he was turning into your favor, and we're gonna use feminism, and we're gonna use the heathens to build you guys up. We're gonna use the police system to make a pathway, the judicial system a pathway for you guys to get ahead, the government system to give you guys some access to wealth. Not wealth, money. But you're gonna have to give up your men to get it. You're gonna have to give up your children's fathers to get it. You're going to have to give up your sons to get it. And many of you did. Many of you are still doing it, comfortably doing it. But this is something that you need to hear, sisters. This brother got frustrated. You know what he did Friday night? As we warned you, times are changing. Brother got a gun. And the mother of this girlfriend, the mother of the impregnated mother of his child, blew her brains out. Shot her in the head, killed her on the spot. Baby died in her womb. Then, brother goes on YouTube, social media, and he tells everybody, I'm sick and tired of this foolishness. I warned this one to stop, this foolishness with me. giving me a hard time, effing with me. I'm not going to use that particular word. I'm tired of them running me through this court system. I'm tired of fighting with them. He said, now I'm going over here to my ex-wife, and I'm going to bring to her the same thing I just brought to this one. In other words, he said, allegedly, I don't know if you can find it out there. It's out there. Mike Malice, although I think he's a little wicked devil, you can go to his channel. He talks about it. But anyway, he said, I'm going to go in this apartment. He was standing outside the apartment complex. He said, I'm going in here, and I'm going to kill her too. And looked appeared that she must have been coming from somewhere, coming home or returning from the store, maybe from work, maybe from visiting her family. Sure, probably going inside, getting ready, to do whatever, getting ready for the holidays, probably with her Christmas stuff. He sees her. And he said, hey, goes after her. And of course, he's off camera now, but you could hear him talking. He said, this is the day. This is what he told her. I said, this is the day. Next thing you know, you hear the gunshot, and then he kills himself. So he murders her and kills himself. But that was his words to her. This is the day. And I'm gonna say this to a lot of you sisters out here. You Israelite women. You're out here in these conflicts with these men, and you think the system is going to protect you, or somebody's going to protect you. Are you capable of protecting yourself? Well, when you least expect it, death can be right upon you. Yeah, you're young, because neither one of these women were over 40. I think one was in her early 40s, 41, 42, and the other one, just by the looks of her, I would say she was probably in her late 20s. Both of them were dying that day by the hands of a man that they laid in the bed with. But they felt that they could, use the judicial system to bring him to his knees. And they did to some degree. But what they did not understand, that when he got up off of his knees, he was going to lay them in the grave. And he had no problem going there with them. And then you had 4 deaths. Both of the women, the ex-wife, the girlfriend, the unborn child, and then again, he killed himself. And this was an Israelite man. That's this old lying thing going around that, black men won't, commit suicide. But yes, they will. Well, it's not really suicide. I guess it is suicide. He killed himself. But my question to you sisters, how far are you going to go? How far are you comfortable pushing your men to see what they will do? How far? And I know many of you thinking, oh, my man won't do that. He ain't like that. Well, I guarantee you, both of those women said the same thing about that guy. And if you see a picture of that guy looks like your everyday guy. He was a young guy too. Probably looked like maybe late 30s. Didn't look like he would harm anybody. Damn sure didn't look like a gangster. He wasn't dreaded out and, gold-teed out and tattooed up. He wasn't any of that. He was like a regular, old guy working for, UPS, delivering packages. Amazon driver. He didn't look, again, I think he was a nurse. Yeah, a nurse. And so my point to you is that, it's time to wake up. All this madness that is going on, between the men and women of Israel. I'm telling you, judgment is right upon us. We are in the end of days. And a lot of times when you hear, me talk about that, all of you say, well, you're waiting for the end of the world to come. Maybe, for Jesus to come back, using your word. You're sure to come back. Yeah. Holistically, that is what I'm talking about. But that's not an all-inclusive statement in terms of the end of the world, end of days. Because the end of the days is the day that you're going to die. The end of the days, the end of this world is when Yah going to come and he going to wipe everybody off this planet. Except for the elect. And they're going to be kind of put on the side while everything else is going on. But we will see the death and mayhem. We will see the blood in the streets. That's what the book says. It's going to almost be at our doorsteps. Many of us are going to be thinking that we're next, and y'all going to come in right at the last minute and save us. Those that do the will of the Father, those who keep the Torah, those who are walking and teaching the Torah. But the end of the world came for both of those women Friday night. Neither one of them had any. I'm sure they thought they would see Christmas, you know. They thought they would do all this paganism stuff. And I mean, I've said enough about Christmas. If you're still going to celebrate it now, there's nothing else I can tell you about that. But white Jesus and Santa Claus and nothing else saved their asses. Respectfully. Respect the dead. I'm not advocating it. And I don't have any particular horse in that race. I don't know the women, so I can't sit here and tell you how sad I am about any of it. If anything, it's horrific that all those lives were lost when at some point these people cared about each other. And then the innocent child, unborn child, also becomes victimized because these people who at some point cared about each other allowed Satan to come in, allowed the gods of this world to come in with his government system, with his judicial system, and take advantage or create hostility with this man. And again, I'm not calling out his innocence in this. I'm sure there was some cause for them to have a problem with them. But our book told us that, says to us, when we have an issue, we're supposed to go to the elders. Who are the elders? The men who live by the book. The men who have the wisdom and the understanding of the book. So that these men can use the book to solve our problems. Just like when they were bringing this woman who was caught in adultery. You remember Yeshua? You remember we talked about this already. You know, they didn't bring that woman. I'm talking about these men when they brought this woman who was caught in adultery. They didn't bring her to Caesar. They could have brought her to Caesar. They could have brought her to Pontius Pilate. He was there. Remember, he was the governor. They could have brought her to the Roman court, the heathen court. But they didn't. They brought her to the man of Elohim, Yeshua, the prophet, the messenger. They brought her to him to see what he would say. And if you know anything about the story, you know, justice happened that day. When someone could have died, no one died. Because justice was distributed the right way. See, when you out here and you're using the world system, you know, to settle matters, talking about you, Israel, so-called black African-American people. When you use the world system to solve your problems, you better understand something. Your problem is going to get greater and your problem is going to become worse because the system is not set up to solve your problem. The gods of this world, the demons that run this world, the demons that set up the system, the demons who are administrators of the laws of this world, they're not here to bring justice for you. What they're here to do is to cause mayhem in your household. That's why they were so willing to give our mothers welfare and then tell us, we'll give you money, but your children's father can't live in the house no more. And you can't be getting any money from him. We want to get the money from him. That's what the child support system is all about. We want to see the money first so we can get our bits off of it and then give you what we want you to have after we tax it or whatever we're going to do with it. And then we're going to make the tax on him so heavy that he's pretty much going to become criminal-minded. The tax on him is going to be so heavy, he's going to be so miserable that he's going to become criminal-minded. And I don't mean criminal-minded that he's going to go out in the street and sell drugs, although some do that. He's going to become criminal-minded that he's going to be thinking about all kind of plots and all kind of cunning ways because the demon's going to attack him because, you'll open the door and let the demons in because you, sister, didn't want to go to the men of Elohim or the sisters of Elohim to look for advice, and then he take that advice in. You want to use the world system. So now the demons are attacking him. What the world calls criminal. No, the demons are attacking him with wicked thoughts, suggestions, and ideas. And so he becomes criminal-minded. So now he's plotting ways to get his revenge. And that's what many of the men are doing, unfortunately, in Israel now, against the women. And let's be clear, many of you women, sisters, you're doing the same thing against the men. Plotting criminality against each other. In other words, plotting wickedness against each other. Because you saw no, you didn't see any equity. You saw no value in going to the book for resolution. You felt that, no, let me go to Satan and those who are assigned by Satan, those who swear those oaths, those governors, those mayors, those judges, those lawyers, those counselors, those doctors, those physicians, all those people who get an oath, they sign an oath, they get a certificate to be able to come back and justify, replacing the knowledge of Elohim with the knowledge of this world to address your issues. And as always, those issues come back to bite us in the ass. And it's going to continue to happen. It's only going to get progressively worse. As they plot, I'm talking about the wicked governments of this world, the wicked rulers of this world, with their agents, as they plot against us as well. Because at the end of the day, if you're in fight with the fathers, ultimately your child's going to suffer. Just like that unborn baby had to suffer because of, the evil that had transpired between the parents or those who were in a relationship with the man. Just like that innocent child had to suffer and lose its life. The same thing is going to happen to your children, your daughters and your sons. Because you're using the world system to resolve issues that we are supposed to be taking to Elohim and the book as the guide or the map to help us come to the right conclusion, as Yeshua did with the woman who was caught in adultery. So that true justice can be applied and everybody can walk away with a sense of wholeness. Not always a sense of what you want, but a sense of what is right. But the more we continue to turn our back on the truth, the more we tend to go after the ways of these heathens, the worse things are going to get. And that story Friday night, and that story, as I shared the story with you ladies, you two brothers Friday night, that is just a reminder to you. Who are you in conflict with right now? Who are you fighting right now? What are they thinking right now? What are you thinking right now? How do you know that the person that you're in conflict with right now, the father of your children, your husband, your ex-husband, your ex-wife, the mother of your children, how do you know what they're thinking right now? You think the government is going to save you? You think the police are going to save you? They didn't save those two ladies. Those two mothers, they didn't save them. Hell, they couldn't even save the man from himself. And I bring this out again because it's time for us to wake up and open up our eyes and understand that we either go the way of Elohim and live, or we continue the way of this world's government, its policies, its procedures, and die. You need to ask yourself the question, which do you choose? Which one is more fitting for you? Which one you want? Because if you keep on going, sister, the way of this government system, it's going to be some more blood in the streets. Same thing with you brothers. You keep going that way, it's going to be some more blood in the street. Your blood. Your children's blood. The innocent blood. Now, Yeshua said that he came to direct us, to turn us back to the Torah, to the laws, to the statutes, so that we might have life, and that we might have a full life. It means live a long, prosperous life for whatever time we have left here. And he said, it is the thief, those who are ruled by Satan, who come to steal, kill, and destroy. Now I ask you, is this government system give you the impression it's coming to give you a better life, an abundant life? Or is this judicial system, this legislative system, you know what I'm saying, this executive, governmental system, stealing, killing, and destroying us, our people? I think we know the answer to that. But that's what I have for you this morning. Another sad ending. The end of the world came to all four of them Friday night, December 10th. You think you have time? You think you can continue to participate in this wicked system, world system, and not pay a price? The book says the wages of sin is death. The gift of Elohim is life. But you don't get that gift if you turn your back on him. In other words, you go to the courts of this world instead of going to the courts of the Torah. The true judges, the righteous judges. And I ain't talking about your damn pastors and them devils. I'm talking about those who trust the Torah, those who will come to you with the Torah, who will teach and bring to you the knowledge of the book so you make the best decision for your life and for your children's life so you will have the best life. I hope you take heed. Be not deceived. Elohim is not mocked. Whatever a woman, whatever man soweth, that's what you're going to reap. You sow into evil, evil going to come back to you when you least expect it. And it doesn't have to end that way. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.